They never found the last person who stayed at the cabin in the scariest forest in America. Just some footprints, some clothing, and a few teeth. This is their story. Welcome, little nightmare. I've been waiting to slip into the darkness with you. Tonight, I'm taking you into one of the scariest places in America, Freetown State Forest, tucked inside the cursed Bridgewater Triangle. This haunted stretch of woods has seen blood rituals, shadowy figures, and vanishings no one can explain. And one poor soul, they thought they left the forest behind, but some roots grow deeper than death. Pull the blankets up tight. Light a candle if you dare. And if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe so I can save you a seat in the shadows, right next to mine. I thought I was just getting away for a quiet weekend. No Wi-Fi, no people, no distractions. But instead, I found myself staying in a decaying cabin on the edge of Freetown State Forest, one of the scariest places in the United States. This forest sits within the infamous Bridgewater Triangle, a region known for its paranormal activity, disappearances, and dark legends. From ghost sightings to cult rituals, it's a place soaked in fear. I'd read about the haunting, sure, but I never expected to live through one. The forest was deathly quiet when I arrived. Not peaceful, unnatural, like the trees were listening. My phone lost signal 10 minutes before I got to the cabin. The gravel road dead-ended into a rotted fence, and beyond that, the woods looked darker than they should have, even in daylight. The cabin itself looked like something out of a forgotten horror film. Weathered wood, slanted roof, a porch that groaned under my boots. Inside smelled like mildew and pine, like it had been sealed shut for decades. No electricity, just a fireplace, a few candles, and a strange little charm above the door. Twigs tied in a triangle, bound with cloth. I thought it was just backwoods superstition, until I noticed the cloth had dried blood on it. That first night, I woke to a soft scratching sound. Not outside. Inside, coming from the ceiling above my bed. I lit a candle and stared at the spot, but there was nothing. No rodents, no movement, just silence. But when I blew out the flame, I heard breathing, slow, heavy, right beside me. The next morning, I found muddy footprints leading from the front door to the side of my bed. They weren't mine. I checked the lock. It was still latched from the inside. Still, I convinced myself it was nothing. Maybe I'd tracked in the dirt and forgot. Maybe. But that night, the forest began to whisper. It wasn't the wind. I know what wind sounds like. These were voices. Soft, layered, like dozens of people murmuring just out of reach. I stood on the porch and listened. They rose and fell, never growing louder, never stopping. And that's when I saw it. A figure, deep in the woods, just standing between the trees, watching me. When I turned on my flashlight, it was gone. I didn't sleep. I sat up until sunrise, every creak in the cabin making my skin crawl. Just before dawn, the scratching started again, but now from beneath the floorboards. I leaned down to listen, and something moved. Then I saw it. A hand. Just for a second. Reaching up through the cracks. Fingers thin and stiff, coated in dirt. I jumped back. When I looked again, it was gone. Not even dust disturbed. That should have been the moment I left. But I didn't. Something about that place made it feel like leaving wasn't even an option anymore. I spent the day pacing, trying to get a signal, packing and unpacking my bag. Every time I walked to the edge of the property, it felt like the trees shifted behind me, closing in, watching. I stayed another night, and that was the worst mistake of my life. It began just after midnight. I heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling the cabin. I sat in the dark, holding a candle like it could protect me, listening as whatever it was dragged something heavy across the porch. Then, scratching. Long, deep scratches along the windows one by one, like claws testing the glass. I didn't dare look out. The air inside got cold, freezing. My breath clouded in front of me. The fire had long since burned out, and the cabin felt wrong. Like it had shifted, tilted slightly. The walls seemed closer, the ceiling lower. The silence outside was so complete, I could hear my own heartbeat. Then came the knocking, from inside the walls. First behind the fireplace, then the floor, then right next to me. A rhythmic, patient knock. Not asking to be let in, but to remind me it was already here. I curled up in a corner and pressed my hands to my ears. I stayed there, frozen, until dawn began to break through the cracks in the wood. That was it. I couldn't take another second. I grabbed my keys, didn't even look back, just ran to the car and drove. I didn't care that I'd left everything. I just needed to get out. I remember the trees looking different that morning, closer, almost like they were leaning in, trying to stop me from leaving. But I made it, or at least, I thought I did. When I got home, I tried to convince myself it was all in my head. Stress, exhaustion. But things weren't right. I kept waking up to whispers, to shadows in the corners of my room that didn't move with the light. I found dirt on my floor, even though I never wore shoes inside. That same triangle symbol, twigs and cloth, appeared outside my bedroom window, nailed into the tree. And last night, I woke up to knocking. Not on the door, from inside the closet. I hadn't opened it since I got back. I don't remember putting anything in there, but the knocking wouldn't stop. When I finally pulled the door open, the smell hit first. Wet earth, old decay. Inside was a pile of fresh dirt, dark and clinging to the floorboards, and buried beneath it was me. My body, pale, still, mouth frozen open like it died mid-scream. That's when it all came rushing back. The forest, the hand, the silence. I never made it home. I died out there, and everything I've seen since, the drive, the house, the mirrors, was never real. Just the forest, playing with me, keeping my spirit busy while my body rots in the dirt. I can hear the others now, all the ones who stayed too long, their voices in the trees, laughing. And I think I'll be laughing too, soon enough. They thought they could outrun the forest. How cute. But some places don't need to chase you. They just wait, patient and hungry, until you lie still enough to bury. Poetic, isn't it? Until next time, sleep well if you can.